If you're someone who struggles like my students have with pushing the club over the top, getting too steep on the golf ball, this video is perfect for you, as we'll be covering a move that's going to revolutionise your downswing, and the move is the vertical drop. We're going to be covering today what this move is, how this helps you improve your downswing, and a simple 3-step sequence that you can undertake to help you apply this sooner into your own golf swing. So to begin with, what is the vertical drop move? Well, you may have noticed some players using this move at the driving range, but in particular players on tour, some of the best players in the world. A great example being Justin Rose, where to perform this first part of the downswing, when he's rehearsing this movement, he'll get to the top and then allow his hands and arms to fall down first, keeping his shoulders very much so close so the back continues to face towards the target. Club stays well behind the body as the hands fall downwards towards the trail foot. But when you watch him hit shots, it returns the club beautifully on plane into a great delivery position to then make solid contact with the golf ball. It looks nothing like this inside movement that we see them practicing. Well, these players are practicing this because they have the tendency of pushing the shoulders forward and causing the club to throw out in front and get this steeper angle of attack into the golf ball. This is what I see so many amateur golfers doing. A lot of my students have come to see me to start off with for lessons with this movement that they suffer with in their golf game. And the reason why this happens is because they fire the hips too early. I understand that you're thinking, well, a lot of the tour players fire the hips really early and are able to get this huge separation between the hips and the shoulders to start that downswing, but this isn't going to do you any favors if you haven't got amazing flexibility or mobility, especially if you're sat at an office job every single day. Your hips are going to get tight, your shoulders are going to get tight, everything's going to be more hunched and rounded, and it's going to make things harder for you to get this incredible separation that we see a lot of the great players do on tour. So the likelihood is when you try this movement, when you try and fire those hips too early, the first move is the hips will go and the shoulders are more likely to follow because you can't get the separation. So if the shoulders go as well, it pushes the hands and club out in front. You haven't got room to drop the club down and bring it back on plane. It's going to be thrown out in front of you. So then from there, you've got to try and pull the hands in, early extend out your posture, and it's no good. And to get to where we would like the ideal delivery position to be, which is nowhere out on the outside here getting steep, and it's nowhere here either. But we've got to feel this movement, this delay of the body turn, giving the arms and hands time to fall into the plane that we want it to be, to then match up and equal each other out. So it meets somewhere in the middle like this. Again, when you watch the tour players, Justin Rose in particular, when he hits a shot doing this, he is nowhere on the inside, because his rotation starts to take place as he's feeling like he's closed off, everything squares up in the downswing. And the key to consistent golf is getting yourself into a reliable delivery position. From this point here, that is not a good delivery position. You've got to conjure up things last minute at the golf ball, whereas if you're more here, or slightly more shallow biased, it's much easier to continue rotating and attack the ball consistently without conjuring up anything last minute. So before we jump into how you can apply these 3 simple steps into your golf swing, this may be one of your first videos of mine, and if that is the case, welcome to the channel. I'm Harry, a golf teacher professional specializing in posting content, simple and easy golf tips to help you improve your game every single week on YouTube. If you do take these tips and drills on board, I would like you to consider clicking that subscribe button, as it helps me produce more content just like this every single week for you, and it's also totally free for you to do. Now, applying this move into your golf swing, the first step is going to be all to do with the backswing. Now, yes, we want to be able to get this movement to take place in our golf swing, but if we haven't got anywhere near enough rotation, we won't be able to get the club falling downwards. Let's just say I turn to like a 45-degree angle here with my shoulders, as opposed to more like we want to see ideally that 90, maybe 80, 90-degree angle with the shoulders, and I just go that 45 angle, then I try and drop the club from this point here, I'm only going to be able to drop it so much, whereas if I get a full rotation, I can really exaggerate the second point, which is pushing the club downwards to start off with. So the drill I want you to do, just to ensure that you've got enough rotation into the backswing, anyone can do this, by the way, no matter their age or flexibility levels. As we mentioned earlier, this is going to be very friendly for all of you out there doing this, is that the first step is to allow your feet to flare out a bit more. I see so many golfers, amateur golfers in particular, have their feet pointing inwards towards the golf ball, and that puts a lot of pressure on our knee joints and stops our hips from actually rotating, especially this trail hip of ours into the backswing. So just to begin with, allow those feet to flare out, almost on pointing on 45-degree angles. Second stage, you're going to take a club and place it across your shoulders with the butt end of the club on the lead side. And all I want you to do is just see if you can get the butt end of the club to point past the golf ball. And if you can exaggerate this a little bit more like I'm doing here, see if you can get the butt end of the club to point around a foot past the golf ball, pretty much somewhere in line with your trail toes. So about this point here. Applying this with the flared feet, and the final thing I want you to do for the backswing is the initial thought of this trail hip. If we're very much so internally rotated, this trail hip is very locked up. We want to unlock the movement. So to do this, I want you to encourage that hip. As you begin this shoulder rotation, this trail hip of yours wants to rotate, and imagine someone's got hold of it and they're going to push you away from the golf ball. It's going to feel like the weight, the pressure is moving onto your trail heel. So taking the club, applying those few things, feet flared out, getting the shoulders to rotate past the golf ball and unlocking this trail hip. Imagining that someone's pushing on that hip, so it's going to go behind us and further away from the golf ball. So now if I was to grip the club like so and get myself into the top of the backswing, I'm in a great position with my body to allow this movement to take place. And that brings us into the second point. Now we're at this very top of the backswing. What's the first initial move? What's the feel that's going to allow us to get into this position here? This feeling that we see players like Justin Rose do to stop that over the top. Well, as you get to the top of the swing, what you don't want to feel is the shoulders, the hips, and the lower body start to become active in this transition phase. As soon as that happens, it's going to encourage everything to start to rotate and push the hands and club further away from you, which increases the chances of you pushing the club too far out with the hands and getting that club too steep again. We want to think of the complete opposite. How can we feel like everything is locked once we make our way into the backswing? Everything is locked into position, so we can't move this whatsoever, and we just allow the only things to move is our arms. We're allowing this trail arm to begin to extend in that downswing. With the right palm, my trail palm in particular, points towards the ground, and that's just going to help control what the club face does a little bit more. To me, it also feels like what Justin Rose mentioned, where we're keeping the shoulders more shut. My lead shoulder in particular is continuing to stay under my chin. I'm keeping the pressure on the trail side of the body, and it really feels like the club head here is well behind me. It's well behind the body. Now, once you've found that trigger movement of yours to start this downswing, the feeling of starting the downswing from the arms and the hands to set into position, as opposed to that lower body. The lower body is going to get switched on later on. Don't worry about that. I want you to close your eyes and just have a couple of more movements back and forth, just to develop that understanding of what that feels like to you, and whatever comes into your head, whether it's a word, a couple of words. For me, it feels like I'm getting my right palm to face towards the ground. I'm getting my hands towards my trail foot. That's the feeling I want you to take place into this third stage. Now we've got the club into a great delivery position. We've got to learn and understand how to attack that golf ball from this point, because you've been so used to attacking the golf ball from the outside point. This point here on the golf ball, and probably seeing those pull shots and those slices curving off to the right for right-handed golfers. Well, now we're set into a more shallower, more inside delivery position, this set angle that we've had from the arms, wrists, and the hands. I want you to hold this angle and allow this lead hip of yours to now push back and away. Same feeling as the trail hip for the backswing, and getting this sternum to face towards the target as soon as you make contact with the golf ball. It's not quite going to be facing towards the target, but just allowing those shoulders to open a little bit is just going to help you hold this angle all the way through to impact. The key to this is attacking the golf ball from the inside point. From this point here, if you're trying to tap the golf ball from the inside point, you're going to want to hold the angle and promote more of a draw shot, which is eliminating those two misses of that huge slice and the pull to the left. So I'm not allowing this angle that I've set myself into stage 2 to let go. I'm not allowing my arms and hands now to take over. Once I've got it into position here, now I'm switching on the body to rotate and hold this angle all the way through to impact, and then I can just allow myself to come through into the finish. Now, to do this all in one motion, let's start off with stages. So stages, starting off with that first point, we're rotating into the backswing, making sure our feet are flared out, getting this hip to turn and the shoulders to turn almost at that 90-degree angle. Second point, palm facing towards the ground for me, hands going down towards the trail foot. Think of what it felt like to you when you closed your eyes trying this, and then from there, we're switching everything on now and attacking that golf ball, aiming to attack the golf ball from that inside point. And once you've combined the 3 movements, which I'm going to show you how to do in about 15 seconds time, you'll be wanting to take this and try this out on the golf course. And I would recommend taking a look at downloading my ebook, the Course Management Guide. It's a simple, effective guide to help you manage your way around the golf course better and play to your strengths as opposed to the weaknesses. I'll leave the links for that and everything else, my coaching materials, in the description below. Combining these then into all-in-one movement. The simple way of doing this is to do these actions very slow. Before you start to try and make your way into all-in-one motion swings, which only takes a second of the time back and forth, it's too quick. We've got to allow for us to give ourselves time to feel where the club's moving on the way back, down and through. So I'm going to try and hit a shot here, pretty much so 10 yards, but I'm going to make a full swing. I'm going to go up to the top, feel that added rotation, allow my hands and club to come down, and then just pretty much chipping my way through to finish. Once I've hit a couple of shots like that, I'm going to start to ramp up that speed. I'm going to go now 30 yards back and forth. So making my way up to the top, down, and through like so. Same again, I'm just going to make my way now to 60. Hit a couple of shots though from each station, start off with 10, 30, 60, 90, and push your way up in 30s until you reach your maximum. So again, 60. Probably went a little bit further than 60 yards. 90. And the final shot, all in one motion. You've practiced this, building your way up, so this should feel a lot easier for you to combine these all into your golf swing. So turning up to the top, palm to ground for me, it feels like, and then I'm turning on the way through, attacking the golf ball from that inside point. And there you have it, lovely little bit of a draw, eliminating that slice or pull that you will have in your golf game. So make sure to go ahead and give us a try. Comment down below what you would like to see next, and be sure to click that subscribe button if you have come this far, as there's lots more content coming your way. This video has been brought to you today by GX Golf. They provide high quality golf gloves at a fraction of the price in comparison to their competitors out there on the market. Using the code Harry10, you can get yourself a great 10% discount. I'll leave the links to that and all my other coaching materials like the Course Management Guide in the description below. And if you're looking for more tips to help you with the downswing move, I'd definitely recommend checking out this video over here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you over in that one.